Hey, please support me on ebay.com. Just go to ebay.com, type in Latrice Limited, click on store and shop and support me. I would greatly appreciate it. Now we're going to get into this video. So I was on Reddit and I was over here looking at some threads and whatnot. And I seen one that kind of made me think like, that is a good question, right? So it's essentially, are women responsible for all these lazy men that we are seeing out here? Okay. Now you may be like, okay, what do you mean lazy men? Okay. What? I'm not working 3 jobs. I'm talking about you got your dirty drawers on the floor. You don't clean up after yourself. You don't sweep. You don't mop. You don't cook. You don't clean. You don't do anything. You're just there. You know, the same kind of argument I make for a lot of these women as well, who it's like, okay, what do you bring to the table? Well, I'm me. I'm me. What do you mean? I'm me. What is that? What does that mean? What are you actually bringing to the table? You know, so I feel like we have on the flip side, in a different way, same thing for men. So I'm wondering, are women actually responsible for these lazy men that we are seeing in this day and age? And I would say, for a good amount of it, yes. Okay. And I'm gonna give my reasons for it and everything. So I'm seeing a lot of women enabling this whole man child where they throw temper tantrums. And the woman's just like, oh, you know, that's just how he is. Never cleans up after himself. I'm talking about, and I'm not saying like you got to be doing every little thing every time you make a mess, but I mean like you ain't sweeping, you ain't mopping, you're just leaving the stuff for her to do. You're just letting your clothes pile up, dishes pile up. Meanwhile, you ain't doing anything. Now I know y'all gonna be like, well, come on, Alex, you know, I'm working and she ain't working and da da da. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when y'all doing 50-50, which a lot of people are, okay, or whatever the 70-30, whatever, but y'all are splitting the bills, okay? So y'all need to as well split the household chores, you know? And you have a lot of these men who don't do anything. And it's just like, well, I'm just going to have her do it for me, you know, and that is called enabling, y'all. Okay. Whether it's your brother, whether it's your spouse, whether it's whoever, you know, there's a lot of women who are just more relaxed on the male and lets him just do whatever. Meanwhile, the female has to do everything else. All right. A lot of this stuff I notice starts at birth. Okay. Now you have mothers. Now, whether it's a single parent household or maybe she just always is the dominant one because a man out there doing whatever he's doing, whatever the case may be. Okay. And I'm talking about a lot of when you have a huge female influence, but everything starts out at birth. Okay. So you have this whole thing of no matter what age it is, you over here calling your son, oh, this is my king. Oh, he's my world, y'all. He's my king. He's my baby. What about your daughter? Oh, well, you know, she's over there. She's Alex. You know, that's her. You know. And it's like, that right there, you're already showing that he's more important than she is. And they're both your kids. You know, that obviously does something for self-esteem, does things for confidence, but also you're already saying like, okay, you're not as important as this kid over here, which that's favoritism as well, which as we know is not a good thing, especially when you are messing with your kids. All right. You have certain things like household duties and chores. You tell the girl, oh, okay, well, you got to go and sweep the floor, mop the floor, do the dishes, do the clothes, do that, make sure the living room clean, make sure the family room clean, do this. Well, what does he have to do? You know, take out trash and, you know, that's about it. Maybe clean the bathroom. And if he doesn't do it, I need you to do it. I've seen that happen before. Okay. Many times where it's like, okay, well, what if they don't take out trash? Well, can you just do it because he ain't doing it? What? So what is he doing all day? Nothing? Well, I'm expected to do this. That's also a problem. It's homegrown. It starts at home, you know, because you got these men, these boys who are growing up to be men and they don't want to do anything. You know, they are now thinking, well, I'm here. I'm me, you know, maybe I give you some good pipe or whatever the case may be, but I don't have to do anything else because I'm just me. I'm here. And it's like, you ain't bringing anything to the table. You're splitting bills. Okay. You give some pipe and then what else? Nothing. That's all. You're just here. Come on, y'all. And this is the problem, and then you put more responsibility on the girl, on the female, and saying, okay, well, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. Oh, but you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. You need to prove to the man that you're worth the dang. Meanwhile, it's like, okay, what is he gonna prove to her? Well, he's here. It's like, come on, y'all. We can't be doing this, okay? I prefer, from personal experience, my brother, he would have his friends over at the house, and he could go downstairs in the basement or upstairs, whatever, right? And he could chill out with them, hang out with them, play games, watch TV, whatever they do down there. He didn't want to clean up. So then my mom was like, told my sister, hey, can you go and clean up, because he doesn't want to clean up for his friends that are coming over. She's like, what? She's like, no, I didn't. Oh, just do it, please, because he's not going to do it. Well, he doesn't need people over then. If he doesn't do it, then you don't get the luxury of having people over if you can't do the bare minimum, which is clean up. So you have that kind of stuff. And then, as we see from childhood, you just let that keep going and keep progressing until now he's with, you got a dude with the woman or whatever. And now it's just like, oh, well, I just, I never really had to clean or anything like that. And I mean, you're supposed to be doing all this. I mean, you also got to pay half the bills and do this and do that, so you could do that, right? And it's like, come on, man. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of these women are just allowing this to happen, Well, he just doesn't want to clean. Okay, then this ain't happening then, because I'm not your mama and I'm not your maid. Unless you're going to be paying me, we ain't doing that, And I know you're going to be like, oh, but if I'm paying off all the bills, I'm not talking about people who paying all the bills, okay? Because I feel like, yes, if one person is paying all the bills and you get to stay home childless, then yeah, the house needs to be spotless, completely spotless. And you should never have to really ask them to do anything. Maybe take out the trash, but anything else, not really, because you don't work. And you now have that free time available to you. But if I'm having to cook, I got to clean, go to work 40 plus hours a week and do this and do that. And then I got, oh, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Okay. We are not doing that. Okay. So I just feel like, you got a lot of women who are just enabling it, and they're just accepting like, well, this is my role and his role is to provide and protect then. So if you're doing 100% of your duties and he's only doing 50% because you're having to pay for bills and stuff like that, then you shouldn't be doing 100% of what you're doing. You get what I mean? But I just thought that was pretty interesting, because you just have these people who are just allowing it, and then you see where it all begins, and it's all in your childhood.